Good evening, good evening, everyone. This is Veer Maheshwar Charitable Trust Latur MS India organizing daily international webinar series. In this series, speakers are invited from India and abroad. We accept any topic right from education, technology, environment, law. All topics are accepted here. And this series is running from last 5 years and recognized as a India Book of Record, International Book of Record, and Asia Book of Records under the heading of the Women Empowerment Series. Today, on 14th April, we have invited Dr. Yogita Yashveer Raghav Madam, who is Chairperson of the Center of Excellence Cloud Computing, School of Engineering and Technology, K.R. Mangalam University, Gurugram, Haryana, India. As she is related to the computer section, computer subject, so she have chosen the topic from click to cloud, the journey of your data. We request you, ma'am, I welcome you from our organization and all the participants as a resource and request you can start your speech now. Thank you.
Very good evening to everyone. Very good evening to everyone. So, am I audible? My voice is echoing, I think, right? Uh, Let me do it, please. All right. So, very good evening, everyone. So, am I audible, sir? Is everything fine? My screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am. Please continue.
All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, first that who had given me the opportunity to present my presentation over here. Especially, I'm from the cloud specialization. So my topic is also related to cloud, as you can see over my screen. Right. So let me do it on this. Yes, it's visible now. All right. Okay. So my presentations now. My top. Okay. Right. PPT is not visible. Right. Wait. Is it visible now? All right. Okay, fine. Right. So, first of all, I would like to tell you that why this session is very important, because on a daily basis, we are using cloud. I think that everyone who is joining over in this meeting know about that what is cloud. I hope everyone is related to the cloud, like have a basic knowledge of cloud. I hope. Can anyone answer? All right. Okay. 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 So it's fine. It's really very good. Like everyone know about that. What is cloud? So I don't have a need to explain in a detail that but in short, I can explain that what is cloud. The computing resources that we are using over internet is called cloud. Like computing resources means like we are using storage, we are using computing services, virtual servers, virtual machines, all the things that we are using over internet is to be considered as a terms of in a cloud. So why this session is important? Because on a daily basis, we knowingly or unknowingly, we are using cloud. Like we are using WhatsApp, Google, Instagram, and on a daily basis. And we are storing our data over cloud. But we need to know that why, how does your data travels, like from your phone or from your desktop or your laptop, how it is going to store into the cloud. So we will understand it in a very simple way using very real time examples over for this. So this is the step. I would explain these terms using some following very simple steps. For example, when you click, like you are uploading a photograph or you are sending any messages, your device is going to create a request. And this request contains your data. Actually, when you are clicking any photograph on the phone and you are storing it into the your phone in the physical device, or if you are storing it to the cloud device, yeah, you can you are using Google Drive, you are using OneDrive. So these are the example of the cloud. So when you are creating any data, it is going to store into the cloud. Now you are generating your data. Next step, that how, if you are going to generate your data, how it is going to travel to the whole path, and now how it is going to store to the cloud. This can be explained by using the step 2, that is the internet transfer. When you are generating any data, data is broken into the packets. What is packets? Like if you are generating a big files or very large files, those large files cannot be stored to the cloud. What is to be happen, like if you are creating a large amount of data or large amount of files, then that file is to be broken down and keep into the packets. And it is not to be done manually. The system is automatically broken your data and converting it or keeping that particular data into the packets, and those packet is to be sent through the internet using some protocols called HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol, or HTTPS, hypertext transfer protocol secure. And when these packets is to be transferred using these protocols, it travels through the routers. And when it is going to travel through the routers to reach to the server, and while your packets are going to reach to the servers, it reaches to the cloud providers. The cloud providers can be anyone. We can take the example like AWS, Amazon Web Services, Azure, like Microsoft Azure or Google Cloud Platform. The cloud provider can anyone according to your services, according to your requirement. And when these requests are reaches to the cloud provider, it is to be handled by the servers in the data centers. And these data centers can be related to any cloud provider like AWS, Azure, or GCP. cloud decides where process it, because any cloud provider can have multiple data centers at multiple regions. So it is basically depends on the cloud provider or a particular client where your data is going to store. If you insist to the cloud provider that my data should be kept only in India region, then this request is to be checked by the SLA services. Then, if it is to be defined when your data and where your data is going to store and where it is going to be processed, then your data is to be kept according to that requirement only. As you can see on my screen, like cloud is going to store like various types of data. It can be the data can be in music file, it can have a video file, any text file, any JPG file, any images, various kinds of data can be stored over the cloud. Next step is data storage. Data has to be travel to the cloud providers. Now step 4 comes to the like how that data is to be stored. Data has received to the cloud provider. Now the thing is that how the data is going to be stored. Your data is stored safely in cloud storage. For example, there's a lots of things that needs to be taken care, like if your data is related to any photograph, any video, then data is to be stored in the object form. And for that particular object form data, we have a AWS provides a AWS or Microsoft Azure is going to provide a special service that is called S3 service, simple storage object. And if your data is related to be like it is textual messages or anything, so that data can be kept in the database in the form of rows and columns. And we usually use the terms for that like relational database. And next thing is if your data is going to store at the data at the storage, then your data is to be kept on multiple locations. Why it is to be kept at the multiple locations? Because if you require to take the backups in case of any emergency or any mishappening, the data can be recovered using backups. And next step, when your data is going to be stored at a particular location, next steps comes how your data is going to be processed. Next term is how your data is going to process. Cloud processes your data, example, image compression, recommendations, AI analytics may be applied. All these types of tasks is to be done by the cloud itself. It has lots of various services which provides immediate processing of your data, like Elastic Beanstalk, and so many services are related to that AWS is going to provide for processing your data. If you want to process your data, you want fast calculation, you want some visualization, some analytics. So it can be done by the cloud itself using various services. Next step, your data has been stored, your data has been processed. Now you want to access your data. How it is to be done? It can be done like so many applications, through applications like you are using WhatsApp, you are using Instagram, you have stored your data, that data has been processed. Now you want to access your data, then it can be done with you. Very simple applications like WhatsApp and Instagram, and so many applications are there like Facebook and so many social media sites. So if you want to access your data, then request is to be sent to the cloud. Like I want to access that photograph that was clicked in 2009 or that was uploaded in 2009, then that request is to be sent to the cloud. Your stored data is fetched and delivered back to your device instantly. You can also come across the situations when you have a some memories over your phone, you want to access those data, so you click on that particular photograph that was clicked over 2009, and it takes some time, depends on your internet connectivity, and after taking some amount of time, it also fetched your all the data that you were requiring. So this has just happened because with the cloud only, and your data that was stored, it instantly delivered to you. That happens just because of the cloud. Next step is, yes, that I explained you that how it is to be done. Like real life example you can take that we have discussed earlier as well, like you have uploaded some photographs over the Instagram app, and it was sent to the cloud, it was stored in the servers. Now you want to recover, or your friends, your relatives, your family members want to access the same data from anywhere just because of the cloud, because your data was safely kept over there, and you can recover anywhere, anytime, without any problem or without any frustration. But there is a condition: you should have a good internet connectivity. How cloud keeps data safe? Now, because we are keeping our whole data on the cloud, without worrying about that how it is going to be safe, how it is to be stored, all these, we do not care about all these things, because the data that is going to be kept at the cloud is very safe, because it uses so many techniques, so many services to keep our data safe. AWS, if we are talking about the AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform, all these cloud providers always compete with each other to keep their data safe, and they use encryption techniques. I hope everyone know about the encryption techniques. It actually locks our data, and if somebody is going to reveal that data while it is going to travel to the route or the path, so that data is not in the form of readable form. So if it is to be leaked, it cannot be readable, and it is to be decrypted by only using the private or the public key. So it is very safe. So whatever the data is going to store on the over cloud, it is to be encrypted. And definitely there's lots of authentications. If you want to access any data, the login or password you should have. Otherwise, you cannot access particular data. And third one is authorization. In cloud, each and everything is to be authorized by someone. Like if we have some data, we authorize people that what kind of data, or how much data you can access. There would be some priority, there would be some you can say like there would be some control over there. Like if I can access only my data, I cannot access some others data. Like I can access only those part of the data which I authorize to. So this kind of control can be done in the cloud using IAM services, identity access management. So it always controls that what kind of data can be accessed by what person, like with like whom, like. And why cloud is powerful? Cloud is very powerful. That's only the reason that why the traditional infrastructure is going to obsolete completely. Everyone is going to, everyone wants to go to the cloud. Everyone wants to just don't want to take any tension and about frustration, any frustration don't want to take. So what they do, they take the services from cloud and use that services, and whenever they are not in that use, they can release those services. So this is not very painful. So why cloud is powerful? Because anything, any time they can access the services. Scalable, like if you have less requirement, you can scale down your requirements. If you have if your requirement is has increased, you can scale up those services. So it can be done by using cloud only. And definitely it's also reliable, no data loss, because in cloud, what happens, like we do not store our data only at a very single location. Cloud stores our data at multiple locations. So in case of any emergency or mishappening, we can recover that data to from the other locations. So that's the reason the cloud is very powerful, and everyone is wants to go to the cloud. But we have gone through so many benefits of the cloud. There are few challenges that we can face in case of cloud, like privacy can be the concern of some of the organizations, because that's the only reason that some of the organizations do not want to go to the cloud. They prefer to have their infrastructure, traditional infrastructure, at their own premises. They do not want to go to the cloud, because they think like data is not secure at our side. How it can be secure at others' side? So that is the some myths of the persons who do not want to go to the cloud, because they always concerned about the privacy and the security of the data. And second one is internet dependency. Yes, this is the real challenge of cloud that I personally feel like, that if you do not have a internet connectivity, internet connectivity, then your all the services can suffer, because it takes, if internet connectivity is not good, you cannot enjoy the services of the AWS cloud or any cloud providers, because downtime, outages, loading, all these things can frustrate you. So everything is dependent on the internet connectivity only. And we have already discussed that there's also security threats. But actually, cloud providers always use so complex algorithms, firewalls, so many things. But yes, it's truth. Like there is always a security threats. Not always, but at some instances, we can see like there's a security threats that any cloud provider can face in cloud. Now we're gonna talk about the what is the future of cloud, or what is the how cloud can be incorporated in a future, because cloud is just not only a cloud. There are lots of services the cloud is providing, like it is going to integrate with AI. That is now it has been a very important topic these days. So AI services also integrated with the cloud. Using AI with cloud integration, you can deploy so many AI to you can generate AI applications over the cloud. You can generate machine learning models using cloud. And definitely the second one is the edge computing. Edge computing is also providing by the cloud providers. If you want to build an application using edge computing, that can be done using the cloud. And using cloud providers, the cloud providers also providing the services so that you can make real time systems very fastly and very improvingly. So this is the future of the cloud, or the data that you are going to store over the cloud. Now I have come to the conclusion. I hope everyone has gone through all some information, got some information from this presentations. Every click creates data. We understood this topic. When we are going to click, or when we are going to like if we are clicking like, subscribe, or sharing anything, that becomes a data. So each and every time we are generating lots of data, and that is data is going to be stored over the cloud. And the cloud is going to process, and after processing it is going to return it to the user. So that's understanding. This helps smarter usage of cloud. Thank you. And if you have any question, You are welcome.
Thank you, ma'am, for your informative speech on the cloud. What is the cloud? How it can be used? How data will be saved? How clouds services are provided? So these basic things and important things you have explained. Now I request participants to unmute themselves and they can discuss with today's speaker. At the same time, feedback link is given in the feedback chat box. You can use it for filling the feedback. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. For Dr. Swanan Shukla, sir, please.
Good evening, Dr. Bedkar, sir, and good evening, ma'am. Wonderful presentation on the cloud, that how we can use the facility of cloud and how we can maintain our data and store our data. That is what you have expressed in a depth. We are dealing with some research work, and if we want to, store this data, whether we have to means we can work out by ourselves, or we have to take a service of some people, or to purchase that domain. So please guide in this regard.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your question. And the question is really very important because on a daily basis, we are generating lots of data. And if we are doing any research, we need some services from the cloud. So to take the services from the AWS, if I talk about myself, I don't require anyone's service. I can use that directly. But if you are not from the cloud background, and you don't know that how to use AWS, Microsoft Azure, or Google Cloud Platform, you have to take service from somebody like people from like me, because if you have because these are the platforms which require some training or some practice to use the services. Because if you are without getting enough information, you are using those services, so it may be you cannot fully utilize those services. You should have a enough idea that how you can use particular services.
Yes, so I think we should have some expertise for this to
Yes.
control our data. But again, the question of, very important question is of security of the data is very important for us.
Yes,
So,
sir.
if there is a data loss or data, in between, there was a story that China people have collected patients' data for their study from India. So, how we can secure it, if it is on a cloud?
So we cannot interfere any cloud provider. That on that behalf, that those are providing their best services. But sometimes they do not have an idea that that can be go wrong in particular way. So from every experience they are learning, from every experience they are strongly creating firewalls, complex algorithms, encryption techniques, so many things they are going to be happen. And so and that's the reason the competition is going on to among all the cloud providers. And that's the story that you are talking about, the China's. So I don't know that that happened with the which cloud provider, AWS, I mean Microsoft Azure or Google Cloud, with which cloud provider that happens.
No, I'm not knowing exactly, but only I got a news that China people have collected our data. So there was an agitation in between. And now another question is, we are having Google Drive.
Yes, sir.
And our cloud. So what difference is there? Because in Google Drive also we can store a lot of without utilizing
Yes.
our own
Yeah.
things.
Yes, so you
We
can
can
use
select
Google Drive. Yes, so you can use Google Drive, but that has some limitations. Like up to some limit, you can
The,
use your data.
the
After that,
technology,
yes, sir.
the technology is same as cloud or something?
Yes, yeah, everything is same. If you are using cloud services, like the cloud provider can be changed, but the technology, the terminology, everything is same. Every cloud provider has different terms or definitions or the different services names. Otherwise, all the cloud providers using the same terminologies.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, and wonderful explanation. Because we are, at least for me, this subject is very new, and I'm not from the techno and IT background, so some of the terminologies I could not understand. But how it works and how it's storage, that is how we can come to know, and definitely will require some expertise. That is what I have learned. So cloud, some people, they use the word domain. We are giving domain to you. What it means exactly?
If you want to learn those terminologies or some AWS, you want to get some training. So I would suggest that AWS or Google Cloud or Microsoft Azure is providing some certification free of cost, in which they teach the new customer or the new client that how they can use those services, and that is not very hard or very difficult. If you have the passion, you want to learn those things, you can definitely can go.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Bedkar, sir.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Sanan Shukla, sir. I like daily you have discussed very perfectly. And the domain is, I think, a band that gives you to use for your identity. And I think we can purchase from the website provider, and they can do the process so that we can get that particular use of data for that particular period, the band. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am, for joining here and for accepting the invitation. Tomorrow, our regular webinar will be at 7 p.m. Today's uh, timing was 9 p.m. as per the our today's speaker suggested. Thank you to all. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Kindly fill the feedback link.